Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to week 5 of the Staying Healthy During the Holidays. This has been such a great journey. I'm so glad that all of you have been with us throughout this entire journey. Hopefully, you've all learned some really fun tips to keep you healthy during the holidays, give you some different ideas and some different tips on different ways to eat, but also how to use your isogenic system. And then, of course, with all of the different speakers that we've had over these last 5 weeks, they have been very inspirational and really gave a lot of great ideas as to what they were like before and how they're now, and a lot of that due to changing the nutrition system. So we're glad that you've joined us throughout this entire time. Tonight we're going to end it with the 5 weeks, and then we have 3 spectacular speakers. We're going to have Medina, Lynn Maxwell, and Lauren Kreider. So to begin with our 5 weeks, hats off to all of you. I mean, doing something seriously and staying on target for 30 days is absolutely amazing. Who here feels really good that you stayed really like on target with the program, whether it was your first time or you've done it multiple times, but hats off to every single one of you. Congratulations for that, because it is a dedication. Absolutely. Once it becomes a part of your lifestyle, then you just don't think about it quite as much anymore, and it's a part of your program, your daily program. But, you know, when you give it that true 30 days of, I'm not going to eat that, I'm going to stay away from that, and I'm just going to give this the best that I can, it really does change your mind, your body, and the way you look at food and the way you look at your body and how food reacts to your body. I mean, we've all seen the differences of, you know, maybe when you add bread or carbs back into your program. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like I actually expand right in front of my eyes, or, you know, we feel different after we have sugar, right? You feel that sugar immediately, and you know those ups and downs, and it's really kind of amazing as a parent to think that our children may possibly have those sugar ups and downs, and they have no idea because they're used to doing it. So it's great to go through one of these programs and over and over again, where you really become nice and strict and focused so that you know how you feel, because we can become relaxed here and there. But the key is know your lifestyle, know what your body likes and what your mind likes, and to stay very consistent with that, because that's when you're in your true euphoria. When your body feels great and you're energized and you're totally fueled and you're not lagging or let down, that's when we do feel our best and everything is in a great place. So thank you again, everybody, for doing these 30 days and being a part of that. Lots of changes have been made, I'm sure. How many of you experienced some weight loss during these last 30 days or your first 30 days? Okay, great. Nikki's on it. Excellent. Sherry, Lynn, fantastic. What about your energy levels? Have your energy levels increased? Just go ahead, raise your hand, shake it all around. Your sleep, has your sleep gotten better? The fogginess has gone away. Temptations aren't necessarily temptations anymore. Cravings gone away. Don't stop at Starbucks like you used to. So many great things, right? Has anyone noticed a little bit more happiness? That was a big thing for me. I was a little grouchy before this program. I was tired. I was napping a lot and I was grouchy. So that's a big part of it. I just got this huge text message from someone earlier today, her first 30 days, and she told me for 4 years she has been my biggest skeptic. And now she's like, and now I'm your biggest fan. And that's been after the 30 days. She joined with us just 30 days ago, and her life completely changed in a lot of those things that we just discussed. So here's a few extra things. People are going to start to notice what's going on with you. This is at that point where if they haven't already, things are going to start changing and you're going to look different. They are going to see that happiness. They're going to see if you did experience weight loss, they'll see that. They might even notice a difference in your skin tone, your hair, nails, fingernails, eyelashes grow. I mean, all kinds of different things happen because we get such deep sleep. We probably don't have a lot of the same things in our hands that we used to. Maybe we're not carrying around the Starbucks or the sodas or the Red Bulls or Monsters, or hopefully you guys didn't do any of that. But maybe you're just carrying around water now. And they're noticing that. They're noticing a difference in your step. Has anyone kind of picked up your energy level and you're bouncing around a little bit more? Maybe you just kind of sit there and dance a little bit. People notice that. And the biggest thing is people want that. They want that. They may or may not say anything right away. Hopefully they are starting to say something. But when you notice people looking at you a little bit differently, and not everyone will look pleasingly, just so you know that. Some will look or I'm not quite sure what she's doing. Some will be like, I'm not quite sure what she's doing, but I want it. They do start to look at us a little bit differently. Notice that and make a comment. And just something as simple like, I feel so great today. I'm so glad that I started my nutrition program. Or I'm so glad that, these last 30 days have been absolutely amazing. Break the ice for them because they may not know how to bring it up to you. They may not know how they feel. Again, that jealousy comes in and the stress level, or that's not going to work for me, or I know what she's doing, but I've tried that. Diets don't work for me. All those, it doesn't work for me is going through their head. So break the ice for them and just help them feel really comfortable of, yes, it can. Without you even saying that, of course it can work for you. It works for everybody. It really, truly does. It's just a matter of if they want it to work for them. And that's a big key. Do they have the mindset? Do they actually want it to take place and work for them? So when people do ask you or when they make the comments, there's a couple different steps we can do to help them. That's the whole purpose of sharing this program with other people is they want to feel as good as you do. I mean, can you guys imagine if you imagine how you felt before you started this program? And I know Annie's going to talk about that tonight, but it was crazy, wasn't it? Like, would you ever go back?
No.
I can't imagine going back. Absolutely
No.
Not interested in going back whatsoever. So add them to your product page. Have them come over. Have them taste some of the product. Have them get on a call with you and your upline. Get them to be involved with some of the different things that we're doing. Or just flat out tell them, you need to do this. Let's get you started now. And have them order one of our packs. And it really is as simple as that. And then you can follow through, helping them to coach them, make sure they have a great 30 days, just like we did with you guys, and let them go from there. It's fabulous. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring on a couple of our special stories so we have enough time to get them started and to get them going. And Annie was actually one of the first people I reached out to, and a little skeptical in the beginning, but she was curious. And she was at a place, and she's going to tell you where it was the time. And so I'm so glad you said yes. And here we are about 3.5 years later. So Annie, thank you so much for being on the call and sharing your story.
Hi, guys. First of all, thank you, Stephanie, for reaching out and being patient with me. Back then, when Stephanie reached out to me, I was at a time in my life where I was juggling so many things. I was at the office for 40 plus hours a week, literally, not including drive time and all that good stuff. And I didn't put myself first. I thought if I put myself first, that was super selfish. My family would see me different. People would see me different. So I was trying to be Wonder Woman without nourishing myself, without eating. I'd eat like maybe once a day. I barely drank water. I was, I just wasn't healthy. And I thought I was because I was, pretty slim and, on the outside I looked okay. But in the inside I didn't. And I just kind of put this little face that I needed to in the real world. And just, I was just that girl. I'd bring it when I needed to. But inside I was really suffering, and I was suffering from self-love, nutrition, all that good stuff. And for me, that's one of the biggest things, I think, and I'm so grateful for this Isagenix because it's more than just the nutrition. Once I started fueling my body, about 30 days into Isagenix, I told myself, wow, I feel really good. This isn't just all in my head. It's not just a new thing. I absolutely love the way that I feel. So I told myself, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I incorporate Isagenix into my body because I'm feeling pretty good and I don't really have to front in front of people and front that I'm happy. I feel pretty good. And I just noticed that my skin began to clear up because I'd have breakouts, not just during the monthly time, but I had breakouts quite often. And my skin texture was just not where it was like comfortable to be without foundation. So I don't know if you guys can even relate with that, but it's horrible. It's horrible when I got to go to the store and grab some stuff, but hold on, let me put some foundation on, it just sucks. So just nourishing from the inside out was huge. And then, this whole isogenics, I have to say, is like self-development 101, like you have to genuinely be good in the inside. People can see right through you. They can feel right through you. And at the beginning of this, actually, I thought to myself, I don't know if isogenics is for me. I don't have time. Then I started feeling good. And I told myself, you know what? It just became natural. And now I still run the business and I also share isogenics. So I just make the time, don't watch TV, very little. And I just, prioritize differently because I feel good and I want other people to feel good. And I know there's so many other people like in corporate, moms out there that are just really, really, really wanting to feel good, not just look good on the outside, right? So for me, there's just so many steps. There's just so many things that I love about isogenics. I love the fact that who I'm becoming as a person. And along the way, like Stephanie mentioned, not everybody is going to look at you like, wow, you look really good. They're going to be haters and you may lose some friends. And, this happened to me, and this is something that I didn't even share with anybody else, but Stephanie actually. But I was having a really hard time at one point in this business, and I almost turned away the business because I lost two of my dearest friends. And they were my friends when I wasn't feeling good. And once I started to feel good and do good, it was more like, she's bragging. What's her, just all this stuff. And it was just, I noticed that I was dimming my light around them. And I wasn't being true to myself. And I didn't like the way that I felt. And I didn't like having to dim my light. And I also had to do that with some family members as well. Oh, I'm going to go see them. I'm not going to wear that. I'm going to tone down the makeup. I'm going to tone myself down because, I don't want her to be mean to me or be rude, or I don't want her to feel bad because I'm around. And it wasn't that, it was just, she's in a different place, one of my relatives. And it was just toning down myself to make somebody else feel good. I don't think is being genuine and true to myself. So there's just been a lot of personal growth, and for me to stand in my truth and say, this is me. Those that want to stand with me can, and those that don't, well, maybe in the future they will change their mind or whatever. So it's just been a big growth. And this goes deeper than feeling good, getting some, lean muscle and brightening the skin and getting rid of some acne. It goes just beyond that, and so that's just a little something I wanted to share with you guys, because this journey hasn't been the easiest, but I have to say it's been the most rewarding because I have such incredible people in my life. Yeah, the numbers have slimmed down, but the foundation is strong, and I'm so grateful for that. So thanks, Stephanie, for that. I appreciate it so much. So one thing that I wanted to, I just kind of want to switch the story a little bit, but one of my favorite products from Isogenics is actually eShots. And if you guys are friends with me on Facebook, you guys know that, or on Snapchat. I love eShots. Like, I absolutely love it. They look like the little 5-hour energy, and I don't have one with me, but they look like a 5-hour energy, but it's far from that. There's nothing bad in there, nothing artificial, nothing that's going to give you a crash. this right here is perfect for the person. If you guys love coffee, great. But we also have people that cannot drink coffee like me. My heart goes crazy and I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. Like I got to go to the ER. Like that's how coffee makes me feel. So I was a little scared to try e-shots at first. And so I started with a little swig and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. And so I took it. And after a while, I just felt this whole like focus. And I was just really in tune and I was getting things done. I was doing things that I didn't really, that's kind of on your to-do list, but it's on the back list, like organizing your closet, getting your shoes together on the rack, you know, just kind of little things like that, that you say, oh, I'm going to get to it, but you don't. So anyways, I was just really productive and I would go to bed at night thinking, man, I really did a good job today. Like, you know, kind of patting myself on the back. So that's kind of what e-shots do for you. If you're going into a meeting and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to retain all this information, take an e-shot. If you're going to the gym, take an e-shot. E-shots saved my life actually. I ran 2 half marathons, and my very first half marathon, that one, it definitely helped me get through. That was one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. The second half marathon, I actually shaved time, and I actually was the only one on e-shots, and I actually beat my team. We all, you know, were planning to cross that line together, kind of holding hands, and there's so many people at the PF Chang, and so rock and roll marathon, half marathon. So we were like running, and we lost each other, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought they left me in the wind, because I mean, they're just incredible. They're runners, like they run every year, like, you know, it was just, they're incredible. And so then I crossed the line and I'm like looking for them and I can't find them. I finally calmed down. I was on the ground a little bit. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. Thank you, God. I get up and then I see some people coming. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's them. 2 of them were limping from like their knee. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Like I beat the guys, I beat the girls. And it wasn't that I was trying to, but the only difference between us and them was the fact that I had an e-shot. And I mean, that was just it. So anyways, e-shots are my life. I take them every single day. And I wanted to share a non-ISA tip with you guys. And one of the things that kind of woke me up, you know, with isogenics is the fact that I wasn't drinking enough water. I started to drink water and always have a water bottle. Oh, instead of getting tea, I'm getting water. And it wasn't until I started to log my water to see how much I was actually drinking. Just because I was holding it all day doesn't mean that I was getting enough water in my body. So come to find out, I was extremely dehydrated. One of my biggest tips is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. So if you know, let's say you weigh 150 pounds, you want to drink a minimum of 75 ounces of water. If you're sweating, drink more, you know, all that good stuff. But a base minimum of 75 ounces, you know, half your body weight, because that's huge for just everything, your organs. You got to flush everything that's going on. We got toxins. We got so many things going on, and people underestimate what they're drinking. And for those that may be drinking sodas and things like that, I know eventually that, you know, your cravings will go out. So don't worry about that. But just know that you have to drink even extra water because the sodas are dehydrating you. So that's just a little non-ISA tip that I love to share with everybody. It's something that I overlooked, and I'm sure many other people may be overlooking that as well. So one more thing I want to do before I introduce Lynn. She's so beautiful. This is the first time I think I've seen her. So Linda gave me this incredible book, and it's a bunch of different mantras, and I want to just I'm just going to pick one and end with that. All right. So, okay, this one, follow your passion. I love it. It's so simple, basic, but it could mean so many things. And now I am following my passion. That's to help people, because at the end of the day, that's what I love to do anyways. So I love to be able to help people feel good. So thank you guys so much for listening. And Lynn, I can't wait to hear your story. And I'm cleansing. Is anybody else cleansing? Cheers.
Nope, actually, I cleanse every night now.
Oh, good for you.
Cleansing every night. It's working for me. Personally, mind games with myself over losing and then gaining after the cleansing. So I decided to start cleansing at night. What I'd like to do is start with my favorite product, and it's on the AMP line, and it's the AMP Power. I find that it accelerates my workouts. I literally feel my workout and my muscles a good hour after I worked out. I can still feel them working. Another one of my favorite products in the AMP line is the AMP Hydrate. I have it every morning with my Ionics. I love the lemon lime. I knew I would. I add it with it every morning hot. It's just like, instead of having coffee, that's my tea, and that's what I do. And I absolutely love it. I wouldn't go without it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I used to own and run a gym. It was a women's fitness center. But 6 years ago, the franchise went under, and so we closed. But I was fortunate enough to keep my equipment, so I'm fortunate enough to work out every day if I choose to, and if I find the motivation. I've learned that working out is really good. It's great, but it can't be done just alone. You have to add something else to it. My son's always said, Mom, your abs aren't found in the gym, they're found in the kitchen. And I finally have realized that he's right. Once I started with these ISA products and everything started sucking in, I'm like, buddy, you're right. It's the way it is. I having done fitness, having seen myself go smaller, but at the same time, I was struggling with type 2 diabetes. I started gaining weight, going to my doctors. We tried to work stuff out. It just didn't work. I kept working out. I kept gaining weight. And it was frustrating because I'd go to the gym and the personal trainer would just be so happy with what I was doing, but I wasn't losing weight. As a matter of fact, I was getting bigger and bigger. And it was nothing that I was doing wrong. Except for I wasn't getting my nutrients. That's what I found. So when I went to my doctors, he did put me on some medicine for my diabetes, and he helped me lose weight. I lost about 20 pounds. And what I did was then, after my daughter got married, it started creeping back on. She got married in July, and the weight just started creeping back on a little bit. Kept in the gym, started creeping. So I started researching stuff. I don't like to take synthetic medicines at all. I love to eat my nutrients. I've never been one to take a pill. And I found myself having I think it's 5 pills now. And I don't like it. So I started doing research online, and I found my non-isogenics tip, which has helped me dramatically. And it's a vegetable called bitter melon. And if you research bitter melon, you'll see its wonderful effects, not just on your A1C, but on cancer. There are so many good benefits of bitter melon. I ingest it in different ways. You can find it in pill form. I drink it with tea with my aunt again, most evenings. And I go to Canada. I live right next to Canada. And I go and get some bitter melon and cut it up and eat it. There are many ways. I Pinterested the ways of, cooking or ingesting it raw. It's very bitter, but I really have grown to really like it because I like the effects of it. And the effects have been, I went from having a 6.9 A1C to a 5.8, and that's before I started Isogenics. And then I started Isogenics about 7 weeks ago. And in those 7 weeks, I'm sure everything's gone down. But I still got to go to my doctors, but I'm really looking forward to going to my doctors because as we've done this and with the bitter melon that I take, I went from having a high medicine dose to a middle medicine dose, and now I'm at the lowest dose I could possibly be on. And so she's promised me the next time when I go to the doctors, if my A1C is even lower or as good as it is, she's just going to take me off it altogether. And then I reassured her that I was going to be on Isogenics, which she thinks is great because my coworker, Elizabeth, who introduced me to this, is also on it, and her A1C went down without bitter melon. She just started actually today. So that's my non-ISA tip, is to, if you're looking at your A1C is bad or you have different medical issues, try just Googling bitter melon and see if it's something that you might want to look into and take, because to me, there's nothing better than just taking something and you get to eat it, first of all, or drink it. And second of all, the effects on it are dramatic. I've never had just ingested something that has done so good for me. And then again, we add Isogenics, which, I'm hoping that everything works out very well, but I'm sure it will. So as I said, I've only been on Isogenics for 7 weeks now. Having said that, I've lost 11 pounds. 11 pounds in 7 weeks is huge. It's amazing. It took me 2 years to lose 20 without Isogenics. I just like people, honestly, not to get discouraged. I don't want, I've seen other people with results of 20 pounds in 6 days. Great. I love that. I love to see it. But I personally, I like to really go with a program and just believe in it. And that's what I've done. And to me, this is a journey. And along with this journey comes positivity. With positivity comes weight loss. And I honestly want to lose it slowly, because if you lose it slower, you're going to keep it off longer or not struggle to keep it off. It's just going to stay off. And that's my hope. And I know it's going to be, because it's just the way my mind frame is right now. To me, that's the most healthy way of losing weight, is just slowly. And, if you exercise 3 or 4 times a week, like I do, and even if you can't, just start somewhere. That's what I did. I had my gym. I hadn't used it in probably 3 years. I had gone to a different gym, but I hadn't used my gym equipment in probably 3 years. And so when my husband put it all together, he put it in a building where we live, one of the outbuildings, so it has to be a destination for me, which I personally need, because if it was in my basement, I'd never use it. So every morning I go out there, but if I don't feel like going out there, I put my music on. And for me, music gets me going. And if I put my music on, if I don't go out there, at least I do my abs, or I do leg lifts or butt lifts or something. And so my biggest thing for people who don't exercise is start. Because like I started saying earlier, and I got myself on a rant like I always do. When I started back again, I didn't do a lot. I just did it. I went through the motions. And that was a year ago. I just was going through the motions, and I have a circuit training. It's all weight machines, but it was the concept of my gym was circuit training. So in between my weights, I always do aerobics. And I would just, do some aerobics. But then after about a month, I found myself just loving the aerobics part. So if you can't, just start. Because starting somewhere is doing something. And doing something gets you doing something else. And that's, for me, huge as far as letting other people know. I mean, I'm 53 years old. I've not always exercised. I've always been thin until I was about 35. I was extremely thin. And then I wasn't anymore. And so I had to exercise. But to me, exercise is just, it also makes you feel so good. And if I don't have it, then I don't feel as good. And I feel stronger when I exercise, mind-wise, and more confident. So if you can, as my advice is to just start moving. If you're, relying on the product is great, but that's just not in me. I just can't just rely on a product. I have to move. So like I said, I find it most important to do weights. And if you could incorporate aerobic exercise with weights, I think that's the best. And if you can't find the motivation, again, drink some Ant Power and turn on the music and get moving. It works for me. Honestly, it works every time. Just turn on the music. And one last thing, if you eat something you think you shouldn't have eaten, get over it. Move on. Continue to fuel your body with isogenics and let the guilt of what you ate behind you, let it go behind you and not on your waistline or your hips. And you'll be glad you did, because it's all in mindset. Everything's in your mindset. So to me, my advice is to just do your isogenics and get moving. Even if it's just, sitting there like this, that's literally putting your body into an aerobic state by having your arms over and if you could sit on a workout ball and just